Well, hello, fellow Lightkeepers. I am so glad you're here today. I have such an exciting episode. I've been looking forward to this for so long. I have Kristy Eagleton here today and full body chills. I've been working with her for 17 months. Okay, did you hear that? 1 7. That's a year and a half. Yeah, you did hear that. So I just wanted to give you a little bio. Kristy Eagleton, she's a somatic transformational coach for people who can feel there is more available to them, more freedom, more truth, more capacity, more life, and are ready to become the version of themselves who can actually hold it. And I can verify that one full on. Her work lives at the intersection of nervous system healing, subconscious reprogramming, identity work, and deep self responsibility, helping clients move beyond fear, self protection, overthinking, and inherited limits so they can create lives that feel free, honest, and fully their own. Kristy is known for her ability to see the pattern underneath the pattern, name what others can't quite articulate, and guide people back into the truth of who they are when they're leading from self trust rather than being driven by old emotional patterns. Everybody, please welcome Kristy. I am so happy you're here. Oh my gosh, big warm welcome. That was
Yay!
more
I'm
than a
so
golf
happy to
clap.
be here.
Amazing.
Yay!
Amazing. We met through Kathy Heller's membership program, which was beautiful. And it was so fun because we were in a breakout room with some other ladies, got to know each other. And I was offering sessions and I didn't even know your work. And you did a session with me.
Yeah, that's right. I
And
did
then
a session with you
I
first.
know.
Yeah.
And then I heard through
Yeah.
the grapevine that you were doing sessions and I was like, "Oh, I'll try." And then at the end I was like, "Oh yeah, this is great. Okay, wow." I manifested right away. Remember I won those Hoka shoes at the She is
Yeah.
Beautiful yoga event. Oh my
Yes.
gosh. I went to the orange mat because orange was my childhood favorite color. Actually, orange has come back. And so funny is because when I got there, I was so in touch with my playfulness because that's what came up in our first session. Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I played in the mud because I used to make mud pies. So I made a
Mhm.
mud pie. My daughter, actually, she's much better at video. So she videoed it for me, a reel. And I posted it and I got 3,024 views.
Did you? I didn't know
Yes,
that.
the most ever. I
Ah.
posted that before the yoga event. Then the yoga event, I picked the orange mat. Remember, I had the golden ticket, and that
Mhm.
was my
Yeah.
safe haven. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yes.
I was like,
Yeah.
this lady's on fire. I don't even know what she does, but it was, I don't even know what she does, but I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. And then, and then I went back to a group thing and it was good and everything. And then did a follow-up email and I'm like, no, Kristy, I'm fine. I've done all this work. I'm fine. I don't need anything.
Yeah.
But then, what, 2 weeks later, I'm like, I want to manifest again. So I reached
Yeah.
out to Kristy, just did a one-off, and it was good. It was good. And then I said, oh, maybe I'll do a package, but I'm still good. Maybe I can just do every other week. And you worked with me,
Yeah.
and then my life was falling apart. I'm like, Kristy, I need you every week. Remember? Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it seems like
It
lifetimes ago.
tends to happen in that way,
Does
is
it?
I've noticed, because when people work with me, there's a safety that comes through. And so people will often, I think every one of my clients has said to me, I just told you something I've never told anyone. And it's because there's enough safety for it to come up and to move through. So when we have things that are in our system that we feel like, if I go there, there's nothing I can do with it anyway. So you just kind of keep it on the underneath.
Yeah.
It comes out sideways, but then when you can be held in that way and you know that there's safety for whatever it is to come up, doesn't matter how deep it is, we're going to get to the other side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Things that were under the surface and like life situations that have been like just that they're okay, you've got a lid on it. tend to the lids come off. And because the safety is there, there's enough presence for all of it to come up, which is a good thing. At the time, you're like, what is this? But it's a good thing for it to come up and move through and move out. Just like an emotion, a life situation is the same. If you've got just holding a life situation together with sticky tape, letting the sticky tape come off and letting it fully come to the surface so that we can get whatever it's trying to tell you and work through it, then you can be on the other side of it. And so then you're at your next level, which is what was always trying to come through. It's just that people don't have the tools to be with the situations that are there in that way where they can let them fully express and do whatever it was they were trying to get through to them.
Well, we kind of just dove right in because of my entry. But
I don't know if you had a structure.
No. We just kind of go as it flows, just kind of like your sessions. But, I wanted to ask, I mean, I kind of know a little bit about your story, and whatever you want to share, this is a safe zone. If you want to share it all or whatever, but what was there a pivotal moment, or how did you even get into this work? Because usually like the walls come down and life collapses, and that's when we blossom, we transform, or what have you. So what drew you to this work, and did something happen, or maybe a lot of things?
Yeah, a few things happened.
I kind of knew. Yeah. Whatever
you kind of pieced
disclose.
it together along the way.
Yeah.
Yes. So I really resonate with I don't know if you know the process of the hero's journey, where it's kind of circular. And so you're just going along and everything's seemingly quote unquote fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then something happens, which is a rupture. And you realize everything's not fine and you're kind of scrambling. And then a guide presents themselves. And so whether that guide is a person or like a practice or something presents itself, and you go and work with that practice, you get really good at that practice, you go out into the world, and then you come back full circle and everything is fine again. And so I've had a few of those heroes' journeys where I think it was we used to have a company that had 500 staff. We had a house overlooking the water in Sydney. And so things were good. I was very disconnected from all of my friendships. I was very disconnected in my relationship, but things were good. Like you wouldn't rock the boat because it was quote unquote good. And then the business went under. I kind of already had a little bit I was already meditating. I remember the day that my ex-husband called to get my okay to put the business under. I was driving out of a Bikram class. So I was in the zone. I was like, yeah, just do it. Like, this is our next step. Just put the business under. It's good. Right? And yeah, so when the business went under, that was my ex-husband's, that was his baby. He had put all of his effort into it, and he found it really difficult to get going again. And I hadn't worked for 10 years because I'd been at home with my kids. And so I went the old safety security way of working jobs. I was teaching fitness classes. I was Uber driving. I was working in administration at KFC. Even though I had a nutrition diploma in my pocket, I was like, oh, who am I to tell people what to eat? Like I had all that unworthiness that was making me cling to safety of like doing these little jobs, which were getting me nowhere. It was not going to cover what the company used to cover. It was taking up all of my time. I was paying all of my money in tax. Like it wasn't doing anything, but I was trying to do what I knew to do, which is like what society tells us to do. Just go work your ass off and, that will do something. That doesn't, spoiler alert, doesn't get you anywhere. But it's like, so I was doing that. And then we got to the point where we had to sell the house. So we sold the house in 2019, and we had to sell the house to pay the bills from the company going under. And so that house now would be worth probably 1.5 million more than what we sold it for. And so we sold the house November 2019, and then obviously COVID hit in March 2020, and we went into lockdown. And it was only a month after we were in lockdown that I found breathwork, and I had no idea what breathwork was.
Mm-hmm.
And through a series of synchronicities from someone I used to teach fitness classes, she was doing this free online thing. I tuned in and I found Chelsea, who is my breathwork teacher. And I was doing this breathwork. I'd been feeling horrible because obviously I was in mid ego death because I'd lost my house. I didn't know what that meant. Who am I if I'm not a homeowner on the northern beaches of Sydney, because that's who I am, right? Who I was identified as. And so that whole ego had to die, and I didn't know how to deal with that in that time. And so I had found breathwork, and I was like, this is making me feel better. And so I was messaging Chelsea, can I do this twice a day? Is that okay? She was like, yeah, go for it. And so I'm breathing and I'm like, processing. And I was just doing it to feel better. But if you have done any like real transformational breathwork, it is a somatic practice. So you're letting that emotion that's been stored in you come up and out. And so I remember the grief of my house coming up and out one day, and I didn't know it was going to come up, but it was a really big release. But from there, I was like, okay, what am I going to do with my nutrition diploma? And what am I going to do with my fitness? Like, I knew how to teach fitness. I didn't want to work for the person that I was working for. And so I set up my own classes in the surf club overlooking the ocean while the sun was coming up, and I was teaching classes there. And I started recording videos so that I could have my nutrition course and things like that. So I was starting to come out of my shell. And so instead of who am I to do this, I had that bit of like, no, I can do this. Like, I can do this. And so that was one of those hero's journeys. So do you want me to keep going? Or
Well, I want to ask you a quick question. So I've done breath work, and I know from working with you, you would talk about how you'd done a lot of breath work, and that was kind of your first on-ramp to your, I guess, healing process and transformation. I've done it, and I know people say what you're kind of talking about, and then I've done EFT tapping. I did that a lot more than the breath work, and then working with you. So now working with you, the difference, and we'll talk about that in a minute, is that you identify what it actually is and what you're releasing and reprogramming the subconscious. So my question to you is, when you had, like, let's say the situation with your house, when it comes up and out of your body, when I've done breath work, I'm like, ooh, okay, what was that? But I don't always know what it is. Did you always know what it was?
No, you don't always know what it is. No. I started to learn how to tell what it was,
Okay.
but from doing it a lot. And
Yeah.
obviously I'm tuned in that way. That's why I do my job that I do now. I can track it, but often you don't know. It's just a release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I
It's just,
thought.
and it's powerful. And so it's with breathwork, we're just trusting, we're simply trusting that the universe, life, our body knows what it is that we need to release in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it creates space, which is
Right.
great. Breathwork alone doesn't create that reprogram for where you can see that there's a gap. So when we're doing coaching, it's more precise. So it's, okay, where is it that you want to be? I want to be able to be visible. I want to be able to receive money. I want to be able to connect with my children, connect with my partner, right? And so then as soon as you set that intention, whatever is not that will come to the surface. And I want that, right? That's why when you come to a session with me, I'm like, oh, yay, I'm glad that you're triggered, because whatever is not what we're creating needs to come up. And once it comes up, we can work with that, and it will always make sense when it makes sense to me. It doesn't make sense to you in the moment how it relates, but it makes sense to me, the pattern that was created normally in your childhood. Sometimes it's teenagers and 20s, but it's normally in your childhood where you got that pattern, which is the time where you were trying to work out the world and just no one was telling you how it works, and you're walking around going, okay, well, I've got to keep that under control because that means that I make people angry if I say that thing, or I am that way, or
That's at
and
like
so we can,
six or seven, age 6, 7, when you
yeah,
say
from
childhood?
0 to 7. From 0 to 7
Oh,
is
0
when,
to 7.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
is when most of it, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you did the breath work.
Sorry, yeah. So
Yeah, no, that's okay. I was curious about the breath work because some of my friends are they just, and I see it come along, and I've been to somewhere it's, I don't know if I'm sure some of our listeners have been to a deep breath work class, but people are flailing and, they're moving around and you're kind of like, when you're new to it, is this fake? Are they just kind of doing, and it's a real thing. I was in one breath work class and it was a Kathy Heller little retreat. It was a day retreat and it was really good. But no, it was actually more than a couple days. And the lady, she was still moving for like 35 minutes after. I mean, she was
yeah.
really, I had not seen that one before. And because I'd done breath work before, thank goodness, I wasn't completely like, "Ooh, this is scary." But some of the other women were like, "Ooh, this is kind of scary." But some people did you ever have that happen where you're still flailing for 35 minutes after the class?
Not flailing, but it is with any somatic work that we're doing,
Yeah.
somatics is the body, and so that's where trauma is stored.
Yeah.
And so when you're like, if I'm holding a breathwork class, I would have enough people there supporting
Mm.
that if people are going into a process like that, we can hold them, we can be there with them, because it can be re-traumatizing. Any somatic
Yeah.
work can be re-traumatizing. And
Yes. Yes.
for people who are in the room with other people who are screaming, if they come from a childhood where there was a lot of yelling, domestic violence, that sort of thing, just the yelling can re-traumatize. They're in their body and the yelling at the same time. I have had that actually come up for me. I've known how to hold myself through it, but it
Mhm.
has been like I have felt that come up in my body where there's that yelling, and it brings the memory of this intense feeling in my body and someone's yelling at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is that. So
Yeah.
I would say it's like with anything. Like if you're going to do an ayahuasca journey, not that I haven't done that, but maybe I will in the future. But if you're going to do any kind of journey like that, whether it's ayahuasca or it's breath work, making sure that they are trauma informed and that
Yeah.
they've got enough people who are trauma informed who are going to come and put a hand on you. Because
Mhm.
if that trauma comes up and there's also love and holding, that's the healing. That's where
Mm.
healing is.
Yes.
Because, yeah, safety is where the healing comes in.
It's funny you say
And
that. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think that's why I haven't really been drawn back too much because some people. Now, there's another lady who does it here locally, and there's like maybe 3 or 4 people, and she does come through and she will actually help you work through it. Yeah. And it's
beautiful.
1 person to 4. That's a good
Yeah.
ratio.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes the other yelling can kind of be triggering.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of us that have that trigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Even if you didn't have a lot of yelling or that maybe just as an adult when you're vulnerable and you're hearing that, it's like, oh gosh. And then after the breath work, I'm going to look this up. I mean, you've mentioned it, the hero's journey, but I'm going to do a deep research.
yeah. I
What
feel
was,
like
oh, sorry,
because
go
I
ahead.
feel like your podcast has a lot of people on their hero's journey, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
good for you.
definitely.
Yeah.
What was your next after breath work?
Okay, so yeah, so then we got to the point where we had run out of money in
Mm.
Sydney from the house,
Mm-hmm.
and we couldn't sign another lease, and so my dad, stepmother, and stepsister had just moved into a house
Mm-hmm.
in another state in Queensland where it was on an acreage. It had extra bedrooms.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had already decided to separate. We actually decided to separate while we were living together in Sydney. And then just after we decided to separate, we went into a 5-month lockdown. So we were like all in the house. The kids couldn't go to school for 5 months after we'd decided to separate. So that was a huge healing in itself. Everything got to come up and out in that
Mm-hmm.
time.
That was breathwork 3 times a day
And
during that time.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
On YouTube. Free YouTube, right?
yeah.
Oh my God.
How much breath work can I find?
I know. You have to email me your favorite ones. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then so they invited us to come and live with them, me and my kids, to come and live with my family. And I actually felt like, because I was doing breath work, I was very in tune. I manifested this amazing school for my son, which had a real football program. It's a public school, but it's like a private school, but I don't pay for it. It's like I pay public school fees.
It's probably like a lottery kind of thing, right?
It's a selective, yeah. So he got selected for football. And so,
Wow.
yeah. But he couldn't cross the border because of COVID. So I had to send all his videos and everything. And so he couldn't trial, but he got the last spot. And so, yeah, so I manifested that. And then I got to Queensland and everyone I was speaking to was like, how did you get into that school? We've been trying for 7 years since our kids were 5. And I enrolled him in December and started in January. I got the last spot.
The universe was on your side.
Yeah. And so I was like, this is good. This is really aligned. There's going to be support for me. My kids can get to know my dad because we're going to live together. My sister's my best friend. And so that's going to be amazing and supportive. And we got there and I quickly realized that not everyone has the capacity to support. So yeah. So this is where kind of like when I look back on it, I didn't know at the time. I had not done my coaching certification yet. But when I look back on it, it's a lot of positive projection. So
Interesting.
people
What's
will
that?
often talk about negative projection where you're seeing in others something that's inside of you, like a pattern or something that you don't like. But positive projection is like, okay, I'm going to stay with my parents and my sister. And if my children or my sister were in that position, they really needed some help, I would be looking after them. I would be helping. I would be doing. And so imagining that what's inside of me is also inside of another person. And so being in that situation and hearing one of them in particular say, do you think that you lost your house because of karma? And, oh, I'm sure that person's company is more stable than what yours was. And me going inside, they didn't mean that. Like they wouldn't have meant that because if I had accidentally said something like that and I didn't mean it in that way, I would be mortified and I'd feel terrible about it. And so I would imagine that that person must feel terrible that they said that. So that, they definitely didn't mean that. And so that's positive projection. Like if I had said that, I would feel terrible. So then if anything, I'm like making sure they don't feel bad for saying what they've said to me. Even though there's no apology, there's no like, oh, I didn't mean that. There was none of that. They did mean it, but I was seeing in them what I imagined to be in them because it's inside of me. So that's what positive projection is.
Interesting.
So we end up gaslighting ourselves essentially, but it comes from that place of imagining that whatever goodness is in me is also in whoever you're speaking to.
Wow. So it ends up that we gaslight ourselves because of what they're doing and positive projection. Is
Yes.
that right?
Yeah. So then we're kind of
Oh my
stuck because
God.
we're gaslighting ourselves and thinking, why did I have such a, they would say something like that, like, oh, maybe it's karma that you lost your house. You feel that kick to the guts,
Oh,
but you tell yourself, no, they didn't mean that. Why are you reacting like that? Like,
yeah.
why do I feel sick right now? That's silly. That's ridiculous. They wouldn't have meant that, right? And you gaslight, shove it down. Very hard to get unstuck from that place. So I was very thankful that I had my breathwork practice to keep me going, because I was being spoken to and treated like that. And I was in my most vulnerable time of my life with two kids and not knowing how I was ever going to move forwards. Nothing around me, like my community, my friends, my kids' community and their friends, like they had nothing to do on the weekends. So yeah, so that was full on.
Full
And
on.
yeah, yeah. And through that breath work, I was going to like weekend events where I would do breath work with this woman called Maz.
Mm-hmm.
And she was right into manifestation. And I had never heard about, well, I'd kind of heard about manifestation. I thought I'd manifested that school, but I didn't really know how it worked. I was new to that. So she would do manifestation with the breath work. And so then it would
Oh,
really get, because you're working with the subconscious, you can understand more from your subconscious.
interesting.
So yeah. And so I there was a really horrible moment where I asked my parents for help financially,
Mm-hmm.
um, and they just were not getting back to me. And I eventually told them that I had been feeling suicidal
Mm-hmm.
and that I wasn't. The only reason that I would ask them is because I need to get my kids and I going so that I can move forwards.
Yeah.
And after I told them that, they avoided me for a week. They didn't speak to me. They didn't, yeah. So really horrible. And then we had a moment where they told me they weren't going to lend me the money. And at the same time, they were paying almost $100,000 for my sister's wedding. And I was asking for a loan so that I could do Alyssa's program, so I could do the certification.
Mm.
Anyway, once they had said no to that, that was the moment where I stopped positively projecting. And I realized, there really is no support here for me. As much as I'm telling myself they mean to support me, they're trying to support me, there just isn't
Yeah.
support here for me. And so what am I going to do with all of these manifestation tools that I'm using? And so I would be messaging Maz, like, is it okay that I'm feeling fear today? But is it all right for my vibration? And she was like, yes, it's fine, but just get back into your vibration as quick as you can. And I was like, okay, all I can do is trust. I would put some affirmation meditations on when I would go to bed so that it could reprogram me. And I started to every week put away, even though I couldn't really afford it, put $700 a week into an account and call it rent. And so every week I would put it into an account and call it rent and just not touch it, because I was like, if anything, it's saving up money, and $700 probably not enough for living in Brisbane. But I'm just like, at least I'm doing something. And so
Yeah.
I was doing that. And then one morning I woke up at their house and I had this, and at the time I was driving from their house to get my son to his special school. I was driving 200 kilometers a day. So that's like 120 miles a day to get him to school and to football. And
Each
so that was
way,
just me.
120 miles one way or round trip?
Every day, like across the day, like to
Okay,
get him to
got it.
school, from school. Yeah.
Oof.
And so I was putting the $700 a week away. And then one morning I woke up and I had this feeling like, check the real estate app. Even though I wasn't ready, I was just check the real estate app. And I opened the app and there was this house that had been posted 3 hours ago and it was 1212 Middle Street and it was $700. And it was the exact amount. And so like everyone was saying, you can't get a rental in Brisbane. You can't, no
Right.
one can get a rental. There's a housing crisis, right? All of
Yeah.
this, right?
Yeah.
So I just
And
put the
when
application.
was this? Sorry, this was during
This was
2020 still?
2021, 2021.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
end of 2021, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so I put the application in. We went and saw the house. It was a bit of a mess from how the people had lived there, but we got that house. Like one house applied for $700 a week, number 1212, and our house in Sydney had been number 12, and then this was number 1212.
Wow. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And it was within a kilometre of Freddie's school. So they could walk to school. I had more
Yeah.
time to myself. And the week before we moved there, it was February, which was when Alyssa's program, the ICM coaching certification, was about to close. And my ex-husband called me and said, I've got this money that's just come through. I'm going to send it to you next week. And so the money dropped in. I messaged Alyssa, can I still get into your program? She was like, yes, it's fine. Just send me a deposit and we'll let you in. So I got in right by the skin of my teeth. And then I had this house where my kids could walk to school. And so I
Wow.
had time to be there and study and do my own healing, because it's
Yeah.
like that whole process is a healing process. And so, so that's another like guide that presented itself along my hero's journey. And so that was when I started to do my really deep healing, which I didn't even know that I needed to do. I didn't actually have any memories from my childhood up until
Wow.
2022. I
Oh my
didn't, like
goodness.
people would say, my sister would say, yeah, remember when that happened? And I'm 12 years older than her, but I would be like,
Oh,
oh no, I don't, did it? Like, I don't remember anything from my
wow.
childhood.
When did you start remember things like from age 12 or age 16 when you say childhood?
No, even teenage stuff I didn't
Oh,
remember.
wow.
Yeah.
Blocked it all
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. I was dissociated. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So, yeah. So then I learned coaching, and obviously it works with all of my programming, my like super empath programming from my
Yeah,
childhood
right.
works with coaching as well. And so everything that has presented itself along the way, I've really like dove, dove,
You
dove
dove?
into.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Like breath work came and I was like, okay, this is something. And so
yeah.
breath work, breath work, breath work.
Mm-hmm.
Manifestation came. I was like, I need to understand this. I need to
Mm-hmm.
get it. I need to get the whole vibration thing so that I
Right.
can do this. Right. And then
Yeah,
coaching, I was like, oh my gosh, this is changing my whole life.
yeah.
How do I learn this, do it on myself, learn this, do it on myself? And so,
So you
yeah, that's,
started that February 2022, is that right? Alyssa's
yeah.
program?
I think 2023. I
Oh,
think I did
2023. And it's a
2023.
year, right? 1
It's a
year?
year, yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
pretty extensive or intensive or both.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
deep.
And it's very deep. Yeah. Because you're working on yourself so that you know how it works. So
Yeah.
you're doing that healing, and then you're also coaching other coaches while they're doing their healing, so that it really locks in how it works.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that was healing that I didn't know existed. So once I knew that, I was like, oh, everyone needs this. Everyone needs
Mm-hmm.
to be able to do this.
Wow.
So, yeah, so that's all of those heroes' journeys that I've been on. There's the one that I'm just coming out of now, which is after I had moved. There was a whole breakdown with my mum, my dad, my
Oh,
sister,
you mean that
my
move or another
step,
move?
another. So in the last 2 years, that's
Mm-hmm.
happened,
Mm.
um, where there's been really deep betrayal from
Mm.
them, like next level harmful behavior from them. And so I've actually estranged from all of them. I haven't spoken to them in over a year.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And so that's been full on because there's been a lot of grief around
Mm.
that. And
Yeah.
then a lot of like, are my boundaries too strong? Is this okay to be like this? And you know what my work is like, and it's about keeping yourself safe and
Mm.
keeping those parts of you safe. And so I, yeah, I really honor that in myself. I'm not going to tell people to do that if I'm not willing to do it within myself. And
Right.
so,
Yeah.
yeah, keeping myself safe and healing from that without having them around is actually a whole lot easier because,
Yeah,
yes, it would be
definitely.
great if I had support, but it's not support, it's the opposite of that. So
Right.
it's,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, it
yeah.
sounds like, well, thanks. I don't know, were there more of the heroes? What about after? So I'm curious with the Alyssa program because it sounds so phenomenal. Is there like an ongoing community that you keep in contact with, or how does that work?
We are in a Facebook group and
Mm.
occasionally we post in there,
Mm-hmm.
but I do have connections from that year that I speak to, that I get coaching from, that I give coaching to. So, yeah, just in the last couple of weeks, actually, I reached out to someone from the ICM program so that we could have a Zoom and I could tell her about some ideas that I had and get her opinion and
I would
things. So,
imagine if you did that deep work with some other, ladies, maybe there's men in there, you probably made some incredible bonds, like
yeah. And
deep.
it's beautiful because it's
Yeah.
these people that are willing to work on themselves, people that are being with themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
which
hold it
is,
and holding the space for others,
yeah, yeah, exactly.
both.
And you can only hold the space for others once you've met yourself. Once you've been able to look after yourself, then you have the space to be with other people. Trying to
S-
pretend and just crank out a coaching tool is that's not going to help
Mm-mm.
anyone. Yeah,
Mm,
you need to have met yourself in the
ab-
depths of
In
it.
in the depths, yeah. Wow, thanks for sharing your story. That's so amazing. So getting through that storm, it was definitely breath work. And I also
Mhm.
hear that it was some aligned no's. And you and I have talked about an aligned no, because when you do an aligned no, then it opens the space for all the aligned yeses. And sometimes
Yeah.
those aligned no's are very difficult to do. And you did that with your family members, and you did that with, hey, I'm saving the money and I can stay here for free, but it's not worth it anymore. And what a blessing. Wow, that's so amazing. And
Yeah.
I can vouch that I think no, I know like Kristi is so potent and such an amazing, amazing, just golden coach is because you've been through it and you've faced it, and the empathy and the love and the space that you hold for your clients is next level. There is
Thank
no When I started working with Kristi, I was in the depths of it, but this is about Kristi. But just to chime in, that I didn't know where the money was coming from because my money wasn't sorted out. And I was just like, I don't even care. Yeah, put it on a card, whatever. Ching. Okay, yeah. Okay, another container. But Kirsty would be like, you want to work with me? Oh, okay, great. Yeah, let's get it all going. This last one was like, I didn't want to say no because, we're like BFFs. I see her every Sunday. We had a couple breaks in between. I was like, oh, I'm just going to be so sad.
Yeah.
We'll take a little break. We'll
Yeah.
probably work with each other again. But yes, when you go and you do that deep work and you face it yourself, when you've been through the depths and you're not turning the corner, and I don't remember how you phrased it, but life on the outside looked good, but internally it really wasn't. And then everything's falling apart and then you're facing it. I mean, it takes a
Yeah.
lot. It takes a lot of bravery to do that. A lot of people don't.
Yeah. And those aligned no's take the bravery, but when you know that something is an aligned no and you follow through on it, the yeses open up. And that's what the tower moments are also doing, right? So losing the house, it- having no support, you know, having family estrangement, they're all tower moments where something had to collapse so that it could get the message through that there is something better waiting for you.
Yeah.
And
Tower moments, like TOWER.
yeah, so you
Yeah.
know the tower tarot card, you know
Oh,
the tarot.
tarot,
No,
TARO.
no, no. I'm saying tower, but
Yeah.
in the tarot, there's a tower card.
I forgot in the introduction that Kristy is Australian.
Yeah,
She's from Brisbane. If you haven't picked that up yet.
yeah.
My
Sorry.
teary-eyed last email was thank you, 6,000 miles away, big hugs.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
anyway, so the tarot card tower. Is that what you're
yeah,
referring to? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So
So
in that
explain it.
card, you can see that there's a tower that's been struck by lightning, and everyone's fleeing, and everything's collapsing. And it's actually a really positive card because there's no creation without destruction, right? So
Yes.
things need to collapse so that you can move into that next level. And the next level wants you there. So when you're in a situation where things are just okay, but you know that you're not fulfilled, you know that you're not connected, you
Mm-hmm.
know, no, you're pretending that there's support because there's people sitting in front of you, but really you feel completely unsupported.
Yeah.
You're not honoring your aligned no, which is that deep knowing that this is not actually serving me. This is not actually nourishing me.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you keep going against your aligned no and you go, yeah, okay, yeah, all right, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually the tower comes in and goes, no, you're not okay. And this is what's not working. And alignment is on the other side of that.
Yeah.
And you will be provided with a guide. So, like, you know, I know for you, it's been like running and meditating, and
Mm-hmm.
then you've had your EFT tapping and
Yeah.
coaches like me that have come along. And people will either take up the guide and whatever it is that's being presented, or they'll keep doing that, looking away. And that's when they're going to stay stuck in the
Mm.
chaos.
Yeah.
So the guide is the way through.
Mm-hmm.
The tower collapse is meant to happen. On the other side of that, there is alignment, there is a next level, there is something bigger. Each of these heroes' journeys is a circle, but it's a
Mm.
spiral, right? It
Yeah.
works a spiral that goes upwards.
Right.
And so, yeah, the collapse is part of it. The deeper and more difficult the collapse, the more you can tell you weren't listening to your aligned no,
Mm. Yeah.
because it needs to be painful to get your attention.
Isn't that the truth?
And that's why we meditate, and that's why we
Mm-hmm.
stay connected to ourselves so we can
Yeah.
hear it when it comes up and we can honor it within ourselves.
Yeah.
And as hard as it is sometimes to go to admit and to go, I really need to move out of this. You do it, you be brave. Fortune favors the brave. And
Mm-hmm.
then on the other side, you go, oh, okay, that's why I had to do that. Now I can see why I had to do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's about staying connected to yourself all the time so you can hear the aligned no's before they become a tower crashing around
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. The tower. I had the tower crashing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us have the tower crashing, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone has it. Everyone
Yeah.
has it. And it's just about, are you going to pretend that it didn't happen to you, or are you going to help people with what you figured out along the way of that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, can you tell us a little bit about, because I experienced your work and a little bit, it's so hard to describe. I would tell people, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so phenomenal. I'm working with Kristy and blah, blah. And I go, it's somatic work. It's transformational. I say, I don't really know what we do. I know we close our eyes and we drop in. And then there's body stuff, but I don't even remember because I'm just out of it. And they're like, really? Oh, okay. That sounds really deep and weird. I don't know. I'd say it's great.
I
It's
know,
great.
and you love it. You
I
love
love it.
going.
It's great. I go,
Yeah.
actually, sometimes for 3 days, I'm just a zombie. My daughter even
Yeah.
one time said, are you okay, Mom? I said, yeah, my cells are just rearranging.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. And then on the other side of those 3 days of zombie, there's something fresh, right? There's
Yes.
new inspiration and there's more
Yeah.
energy. Let's just make sure people get
Yeah. But
that.
actually, to preempt, that was actually in the beginning because, like I said, we only finished not even like a week and a half ago, not even 2 weeks ago. And I was a mess that last one, but it was good. And then I felt great the next day. I was so protective that week, and I've been so protective since. And
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd be able to hold space for this yet. I thought I'd have to wait 2 months, but I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it. So
Yeah.
it's all about clearing your vessel and clearing all the junk, and so you have space so you can handle more. Isn't that is that how
Exactly.
you would
Yeah.
describe it?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah. So yeah, so it's somatic because soma means body,
Okay.
and so somatic is work that we do in the body. So your
Right.
EFT tapping, breath work, that's all somatic as well because you feel the shift in the body.
Right.
So my work is, yeah, it can be difficult to explain. It's more of an experiential thing.
Mhm.
And we go in through the body, through a sensation in the body. And so we'll follow whatever life is bringing up. So life will present whatever is blocking you. And it could come through a reaction to receiving an email. It could come
Mm.
through a conversation that you had. Feels like it's just about that conversation, but really it's triggering an emotion inside of you, which is related to an earlier imprint. And that imprint keeps circling in your system, trying to find a way of being resolved through reacting to the email, through reacting to the conversation that you're having. And if you don't know how to move that through, you just feel like shit. You feel angry. You feel sad. It feels like that person really meant to hurt you. It feels like your relationship's collapsing, right? And when we go in through the trigger, through the emotion, and we drop out of the head, which you're really good at, which is why we were able to get such deep work.
Mm.
An emotion, when it's not being thought about, when it's purely being felt, will move through the system in 90 seconds,
Oh,
right?
I was wondering, so it's 90. Yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
If there's completely no thought about it, it's 90
Yeah,
seconds. If there's a little bit of thought, it'll go for longer, like it's on a spectrum kind of thing.
got it. Yeah,
So,
interesting. Okay.
but when people are just in their conscious day and they're thinking about the email or the argument and
Mm.
that emotion is there, they're thinking it is the email, it's the argument. They're going over what they said, what I should say, what's going to happen, how can I fix this? It's
Mhm.
all mental. And so then the emotion's stuck in the body. You can't
Yeah.
move past it. And you have 3 days of feeling like crap while you stew on whatever it is that happened, which is
Yeah.
not really about that, but it's just the mind trying to fix that emotion, but it's making it get trapped more,
Yeah.
right? The mind is trying to keep you safe, it's trying to help, but the mind is not that intelligent. It just keeps you stuck spiraling. So,
It's so interesting. I don't mean to interrupt, but I want to get this thought out. So like when you were doing this deep work, and let's say, for example, your ex-husband, and there were triggers, and then you're like, why did I let it get to that point? Why did I marry? Why did I get myself in that situation? When you did this deep work, did it go back to something in your childhood or yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
only if you want to talk about it. I'm just curious.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Yeah. So, like, I only have the perspective on this now. At the time, I had no idea. But when
Yeah.
I look back now, I can tell, and I needed to come out and through that family situation to be able to understand this. So, I am grateful that I had all of that happen. I came from a low effort family. I told myself they're not low effort because I'm
Oh,
not low effort, right? And so I chose a partner who was also low effort.
what does that mean? Low effort. I've never heard that. You have all these
So
funny terms. Like take the
it's,
easy path?
yeah, someone
Yeah.
that doesn't go out of their way. They just don't
Yeah.
really go out
Yeah.
of their way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when you come from a family like that, when you come from parenting like that, where they're not really going out of their way, you believe as a child that's what I'm worth. Like it's too much of me to even expect that someone would care enough to come and
Mm.
ask me.
Got it.
right? It's too much to expect that someone would care enough to go out of their way to come in. Like my
Oh,
dad and my stepmom did not come and see my son until he was 3 months old.
oh,
And
wow. Okay, yeah.
that was my firstborn. So
Mm,
it was very upsetting. And I was like, they don't mean it.
mm, yeah.
But that's
Positive
that like
projector. I wrote that down.
positive projection.
How
Yeah.
do
But
you
like that's low
gaslighting
effort. That's
yourself?
yeah. But that's a definition of low effort is that you don't go
Yeah.
see your firstborn grandchild for
Ugh,
3 months.
yeah.
Right. And
Mm,
so I had adapted to that as a child. You've got to adapt so that it's okay. It's okay. Like
yeah.
they're okay. They still love me. This
Mhm.
means love. The
Yep.
way that they're being means love. Because if it doesn't, then that would mean I'm not loved. And that's not even okay for me to think as a child. So
Right.
then I went straight from when I was 18 and living with my dad and my stepmother. I had been kicked out from their house and kicked out from my mum's house and
Mm.
kicked out from them again. And there was a lot going on. I went straight from that to living with my ex-husband at 18. And he
Oh.
was 18 years older than me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah.
And so so I went straight with all of my patterning of this is what love is. He doesn't need to go out of his way for me. He
Right.
doesn't need to tell people at his work that he's with me. Like that's normal that he keeps me hidden and that like
Yeah.
right, that's okay. Even though I feel sad, that's normal.
Yeah.
Like that's normal for someone to treat you like that. And yeah, so you're susceptible to a relationship. I was susceptible to a relationship like that because of
Your nervous
my,
system.
my childhood and my nervous system. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I went through, I didn't have memories. So
Wow.
that indicates a childhood that was a lot.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so we think that we don't have memories, but as you've seen through our work, so getting back to the work that we do, every memory, everything that has ever happened to you is stored in your body. Your subconscious has been recording all of it, right?
Mhm.
And so when you drop into a feeling in the body, a memory will pop up. And if you're going through your day, you'll have memories that pop up.
Mhm.
And you might not know why they're coming up, but the reason that they're coming up is because you feel in that moment the way that you felt in that memory. That's just how it
Oh.
works. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we drop in and we ask the sensation for a memory, depending on how safe you feel in the session. So
Mhm.
you and I we spent a lot of time together. We could go back to your early childhood
Mhm.
memories. It will drop you into the earliest memory of the time that you felt that emotion. And so it's always going to be a time where you were young, there was too much emotion to process in that moment,
Mhm.
and you were alone. So no one was there like
Mm.
telling you how to navigate it. No one was helping you
Interesting.
through it.
Yeah.
And yeah. And so as a child, it's like there's all this emotion. There's nothing I can do with it. So I'm going to stuff it down so that I can live, so that I can keep moving. And
Mhm.
so we stuff it down and we put it into our body, like we put it there so I can deal with it later.
Yeah, little
And
pockets.
as we put it into our body, whatever we were thinking and believing at that moment also locks into
Mm.
the body.
Yeah,
So
makes total
it's locked
sense.
into that emotion that's stored in the body.
Wow.
So if it's like your parents are fighting over money and one of them saying, we don't have any money, and the other one saying, well, you shouldn't spend so much money, and you're overwhelmed because they're fighting and you're 5 and you don't know how to deal with it. And you stuff that emotion down. And at that time, you're thinking, money makes people fight. I don't
Oh,
have,
yeah.
we're not the type of people who have a lot of money.
Right.
Spending a lot of money makes people hate you. All of those thoughts, and you stuff them down. You look through the world as though that is complete truth, as though everyone's thinking that. That's how it feels. Like this is what everyone thinks. It's not a cognitive thought that you're having. It's just a belief.
So that's so
So,
huge. I hate to jump in here again, but
no,
hold that
jump in.
thought because I could see women, maybe you work with men also, and their business is not elevating. And it's because they had that experience because it's, well, if I have a lot of money, then there's going to be a lot of fighting.
Yeah, of
Wow.
course.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And so when we can go into that memory and we can be with that little person
Mm-hmm.
and we can meet them with love and safety, and I'm here with you.
Mm-hmm.
We can let them feel that emotion, let it all come up, that, and let them even have like a tantrum of, oh my God, I'm never going to have money. Like that's
Yeah.
how it feels for them to have that. Let that move through. It takes 90 seconds to move through. That's why I'm always like, tell me when that first wave of emotion passes, because it is going to
Right.
pass. And then from there, after, and you know it yourself after you've had a big cry, you're open. You're open to whatever's going to come in, so long as it's
Yeah.
coming from a loving and
Yeah.
caring and safe place. That's where you can go, hey, little girl, I know that felt like it meant that you don't get to have money. And the truth is, there's so much money for you. There's so much money.
Yeah.
You were put here to be exactly as you are, and all of the money in the world wants to get itself to you. And
Mm.
that little girl goes, really? And she gets to have that experience of someone telling her the absolute truth. And when you're in there and you know, like, you know truth, you know what it feels like, and you know that truth is loving, and you get that little girl to understand that,
Mm-hmm.
then you come out, you might feel a little bit wiped out afterwards because your whole psyche has just rearranged and you're looking at life through a different lens.
Yeah.
But even when you're wiped out, it's a good wiped out. It's like,
Oh yeah,
oh,
definitely.
yeah,
And that's the
I'm so
reprogramming.
relaxed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
the repro.
that's the
Yeah, because it's a
reprogramming.
lot of energy. It's a lot of energy
It's
shifting.
yes,
Yeah.
it is a lot of energy. Well, I've done as you know, Dr. Joe Dispenza's work and his meditations. I'm revisiting them now and with a whole different lens now. It's so amazing. And I love, love, love his work. But what I really enjoyed about working with Kristy, and I've said to her, it's like having your own personal training coach because you're not wasting time. And I'm like, I don't want to waste any more. I don't want to waste any more time. I just want to get to it,
Yeah.
get to the finish line. But you don't get to the finish line, I know. But it's,
You're on a spiral. You're on a spiral.
I'm on a spiral. But it's like it truly is having your own personal coach. And I love Dr. Joe Dispenza. I love those programs and everything. But that's one of many. But this one just narrows down, you say what's going on and this is the pattern. Okay, let's do this. Let's go drop in. Let's see what's going on. Yeah. So that's the reprogramming of the subconscious. Does it
Yeah.
automatically reprogram or does it take like does she say, does it take a couple hours to settle in, like 24 hours, or how does that work? Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, so it is instantaneous.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah. And you, to be able to notice it, you need to have situations come up where you're dealing with them in a
Right.
different way. So yeah,
Yeah.
like over the course of the next 48 hours,
Mm.
things will come up and you'll notice that you're able to be with it differently. You just said something that you've never heard yourself say before. You've
Yeah.
got more confidence that you didn't have before. So yeah, the shift is instantaneous, which is why I love it, because I don't muck around. And so
No, you don't. You don't
no,
muck around. Soccer mom.
everyone walks away with a breakthrough.
Yeah.
We're not just going to circle the drain.
Circle the
We'll go
drain.
go into the drain, and then we'll come back up
Oh my
out
gosh,
of
you're
it like
so
a
funny.
rainbow.
Actually, I called you a soccer mom, but you're a football mom. Yeah, I'm definitely a football
Yeah.
mom. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Well,
funny.
football is soccer.
I
Football is
know, I
soccer.
know, I know, I know. But
Yeah,
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 and for you,
yeah,
it's football. Well, and then
yeah.
also, I remember when I was in between sessions, I'm like, okay, I just really want to know though, if I do all this deep work, because it's work. It's good though. It's amazing. Is it going to help my daughter? So maybe you can talk about that of how when one person does this deep work, how it affects their family and generations ahead and generations and why.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we're doing this deep work, without even needing to focus on our kids, without needing to focus on our parents, just through simply focusing on ourselves, we're shifting the ancestral pattern. And so we're shifting the lineage.
Yeah.
So before I became estranged from my parents, I had been doing this deep work for 2 years, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And in that time, both of my parents were alcoholics.
Mm.
And before we were estranged, they had both given up drinking, right? Without me interacting with them,
So
simply.
say that one more time. I want to digest this. Okay, so again, that
So both my mother and my father
we're alcoholics,
were alcoholics,
active drinking. Mm-hmm.
active, yeah. And I went and did so before I did Alyssa's program, they were alcoholics. I went and did my own deep work without focusing on what they were doing.
Got it.
And even with me not interacting with them much, both of them stopped drinking completely.
Wow. Now, were
Yeah.
you doing Alyssa's program when this happened?
So Alyssa's program and then a bit after that. So I've
Okay,
done
okay.
some a couple of other things after that. Yeah.
Phenomenal.
So
Wow. Well,
yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah. So that's how it works going upwards, is that there's more freedom for them. So they didn't do any work. They didn't do any healing work,
Right.
clearly. But through me doing my work, they were able to find the ability to do that, which they hadn't had before. Right. And
Yeah.
so I don't think that they're ever going to listen to this podcast, but I've never said that to them, but I just noticed that that happened. And for my kids, it's a thousandfold, because it is shifting the patterns from our lineage, which when I shift something in me, I notice that it shifts in them. Even in these last couple of weeks, I had a pattern come up where I was healing it. We have a history of gambling addiction in our family. On both of my sides, there's a history of gambling addiction. And I did a deep healing around that. It wasn't coming up through gambling with me, but it was coming up through an activation in my body, like excitement and dread around money.
Mm.
And so, yeah, I did a deep healing on that. And then the next day, Freddie had something come up around gambling, that his friends were gambling to get money for something and they lost. And I was like, Freddie, that's the best thing that ever happened to you.
Mm.
Because if you had been related to someone, like if you were with someone and they were going to pay for something for Freddie, if they won, and if they had won $20,000 when you were 16,
Ugh.
that's the worst thing that ever could have
Yeah.
happened to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is.
And he really got that. And so we were in that space of like where that healing could come up and that conversation could happen while he was 16. And so, that is all working in together for that to come up through me at that exact moment. And then he has that come through. We have that conversation. It really lands.
Wow.
That's ancestral healing, because that pattern has come through both lineages. And this moment where Freddie's 16 is where he can heal it through how he's being. And I'm able to guide him through that because I'm healing it through myself. He no longer has the charge because I've already moved it through me. And, I'm obviously showing up as a different person. So
Wow, that's
they get to
amazing.
have me as that mother, which is healing in itself
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, those are great examples. I love those.
And the other thing I notice with parents is that when we go into a memory, if they've got a child that's having a hard time, it will often be the memory that will come up will often be from when they were the age of their child that's having a hard time.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah, that's happened with you a couple of times.
Yeah. See, I don't remember stuff.
Yeah. I know.
I
Yeah, you're just deep in it. That's which is
I
good. It's
get
a
so
good sign.
deep. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Kristi, can you please just email me? Like, I don't remember anything. Reprogram
Yeah.
me. I don't know what I'm gonna do."
Yeah.
Talk about surrendering. Oh my gosh, full body trust.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
wow.
so
So
in that, because in that moment, so yeah, so you're healing the ancestral line, your children no longer have that charge if it's coming from that epigenetic
yeah,
place.
yeah,
They've
epigenetic.
got a mother who is more healed. And so that in itself is healing. And when you meet yourself in a memory from when your child was that age, the compassion that you then have for them is off the charts
It is off the
because
charts.
you remember what you needed in that
Mhm.
moment rather than the
True.
parent who fears that they need to bring their child up in a certain way, otherwise something bad's going to happen.
Yeah.
You drop out of that programming and into, oh, that's what it was like to be 15. Oh, that's what it was like to be 8. And you come
Mhm.
out with this open heart and you're like, hey, you don't need to be any different. I'm here with you. And
Mm,
that's exactly what they needed to hear in that moment,
mm.
which that breaks the cycle as well. It's
Wow.
it's huge for parents breaking
Yeah,
a cycle. Yeah.
gosh. Do you ever work with any men at all or just women? I don't mean just, but
I have done a couple of sessions with men, but
Mhm.
not containers. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. It can always change. I mean, who
Yeah.
knows? Yeah, that's so interesting. Wow. And then, wow, we've covered a lot of ground. We can't do it all in one because we got to have you back.
Yeah. I'll be back.
I
Yeah.
think you have a program coming up. So you work with clients one on one, right?
Yes.
Maybe talk a little bit about how you work with clients. And I think you have some program coming up you can talk about.
Yes. So I work one on one with clients in either a 3 month or a 6 month container. And so
Hmm.
that's when we work one on one, like we have, where we
Hmm.
meet weekly to do deep sessions. And then we have Voxer voice note support in between so that I can help you to integrate it and navigate whatever's coming up in the moment. And I have my new group program starting on the 6th of August called Freedom.
Nice.
And I'm really excited about it. So, a lot of people think that freedom comes from what they've got going on outside of them. And so, when I no longer have to work, when my
Mm.
kids are grown up, when this and this happens, then I'll be free. And the truth is, when you're waiting for freedom like that, you're missing the present moment. And that, no one, it's coming from an innocent place, but no one wants to be wishing their kids' lives away, or even wishing your own life away so that you can one day get to freedom. But the truth is, freedom lives in your body. Freedom
Mm.
is in your nervous system. And so when you can, so in my program, I'm actually really excited because we're going to be doing some somatic setup stuff. So anyone can join, even if they're a beginner, they haven't done somatic work before. And then we're going to be working with the past because we've done a lot of talking today about the past and how those past patterns can be holding us back. So
Mm.
we can hold weight in our body from the past. We're going to be doing work on the present
Mm.
because people have a resistance to the present. This shouldn't be like this. This should be different. I don't like this. And so that uses up a lot of energy in the body, just being in resistance to what is in your current reality.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to be working with the future,
That's
which
beautiful.
is exciting. Yeah. So that you can be stepping out in your beautiful new embodied vision, because somatics is also about embodying that big self, that free self. And so we remove the thinking mind's fear of the future, a future that hasn't happened yet. Take that away, and then what's possible is stepping into possibility. How is it that you want to feel?
Mm.
And that's when you manifest. When you're in that energy of, this is how I want to feel. I want to feel vibrant and free and connected. And you step through the day like that, you take actions from that place.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally, the people who are going to help you with that, whatever that is that you're creating, they naturally walk into your field. you win the shoes, so that tells you that you're on the right track. You you get those little winks along the way, and you get those aligned yeses, and you're actually open to receiving them and seeing them. So that's my freedom program.
That's beautiful. So how long is it? 8 weeks or how long is it?
Yes, 8 weeks. And I don't know when this is coming out, but I have an early bird special where I'm giving a free breakthrough session. So a one-on-one session for anyone who enrolls before the 15th of July or until my calendar books out.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah, this will be before that. So this will drop before that. Yeah, definitely. And we'll have all the links to your social media and everything. You're on Instagram, your website, and we'll put all that in the show notes so people know how to contact you and stuff. Your program sounds great. Oh, I love that. Oh, when does it start again? August?
6th of August
Okay.
in Australian time. It's the 5th of August in the States.
Okay.
So most of my clients come from the States. So I always give
Yes.
the US
I remember when I began and she'd say, I love the Americans.
Yeah, I do, because you're
Remember?
ready to go deep with me. Yeah.
She's like, the Aussies, they just think they know it all.
Well, it's not that. It's more that they're like, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. We
Yeah.
don't need to worry about it. It's all right. I
Yeah.
just get
Yeah.
along and do this.
No big deal. No
Not
big
all
deal.
of them. Not all of them. I do have
Yeah.
some beautiful Australian
Yeah.
clients, but
I'm just gonna go get a drink. It's okay. No big deal.
yeah, exactly.
I'm just
And
gonna drink.
tomorrow is USA versus Australia in the football.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh,
Oh, what really?
yeah.
It
Yes.
it will have passed when this is,
Oh, yes. Yeah. So,
but I'm gonna watch that. That's so fun. Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm putting that on my calendar. Thank you. So when this is uploaded, it will have
Yeah,
happened.
people will know what happened.
People will know what had happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just it's so fun because actually this episode is dropping the first episode of my second year, which is
Ah,
so
that's
exciting to launch it with you,
exciting.
right? And I
Yes.
remember when I was working and, I had Kristy in my corner cheering me on, and I was still deep in the storm. I didn't realize I was, but I was still deep in the storm. And I'd say, "Oh," and she said, "But Kim, you're doing great because you're doing creative. You're doing," and I'm like, I don't know, I gotta get my hair done. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. And I did an episode on just make it messy, just be messy. That actually episode did pretty well. And today I'm doing sporty spice because I went for a run before and I'm wet and I
Yeah.
almost did hairspray on it. So today's sporty spice.
It looks amazing. It's another version of the Burberry goddess.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I got my little leopard on, but
Yeah.
if you listen to if you haven't yet, listeners, listen to last week's because that's my anniversary, my 1 year anniversary, and I talk about the 3 things that I learned and went through in that year, especially working with Kristy. Shout out to Kristy. But the main thing is, and it really goes to your work, is to be authentic. And when I took this podcast course, which was through Kathy Heller, and shout out Kathy Heller, I never would have even thought of doing this. They say, be authentic, be your true self. So here I am just trying to figure it out and do anything because I didn't know what I was going to do. And I was trying, but I couldn't do my authentic self because I was still trying to do versions of other selves. And
Yeah, it's the hardest thing to do.
the
It
hardest thing,
sounds like it's the easiest. Just be yourself, and it's the hardest thing in the world
isn't
to
it?
do.
It really,
Yeah.
really, really is. I mean, until you truly, truly face the depths of the depth. And you
Yeah.
don't have to be, you don't have to be 42 or 62 to do that. I mean, I've met some 21-year-olds who are very authentic, even maybe 15 or 16-year-olds. I've met 62-year-olds that aren't authentic. So age is not a factor at all. But I just want to thank you for helping me strip away and becoming my true authentic self.
Yeah, Kim, this is exactly what you're meant to be doing.
Yeah.
You're so good at this. This is amazing. It's the best
Oh,
podcast I've been on. So yeah,
oh,
amazing.
thank you. Thank you so much. Well, this has been so beautiful. I'm so grateful. Big hug. 6,000. Actually, it's more than 6,000. Remember, I did that.
Probably.
I looked it up on chat. Okay, AI. I love AI. And it's 7,110 miles or something. I
Oh
don't
my
know.
God, 711 is my number from my grandfather.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
yay.
Did you just say 7,110?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look on the thank you email. I
Nice.
said big hugs from whatever it was miles away.
Oh, I'll have a look. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember what the kilometers are, but yeah, shout out, thank you, because it's so appropriate that this first episode of my year two is with you and helping me get to my authentic self. And so beautiful to have you on. And listeners, like I said, all my light keepers, I will have all of the show notes in there, how to get a hold of Kristy. I highly recommend. I was in a couple of her containers. They were amazing. You meet other beautiful souls, and or you can just reach out and say, "Hey, how do I work with you?" And I can tell you right now, I she even said it herself. She said, I didn't know how much depth of work I needed to be doing. And I honestly thought I was fine. But she not only held my hand, she, rooted me down the football field when I was getting tackled by all kinds of forces beyond my control. And I learned to lean in to the football.
Yeah.
And then by the
And
end,
now you're better for it.
I did catch the ball, and I did
Y-
make a touchdown. I made a few touchdowns. So just letting you know. A
Oh,
little,
I love that.
you love
That's
that.
such a perfect ending.
It
Yeah.
is so beautiful. Well, have a beautiful day, and thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next week.